A typical installation of the Synergy or Viking focuses mainly on the patient demographic area, the test settings, and the report. Once in a while, we may have to access and modify some of the obscure settings of the machine. So I'm quickly going to review those. They can be found under the Edit menu. Let's look at the user setup. I have already covered all these settings in a separate video. Let's go to machine setup, and here is the audio setup. Synergy can generate sound using analog or digital mode. The default setting is digital, but if you wanted to use the analog option on the EDX, here are two settings to cut down on the hiss and to boost the volume. Don't change them. We have selected these based upon our different experiments, and they represent the settings that will give you the optimal sound. But once in a while, if you have to change it, this is where you can change them. This is the audio transducer calibration. This is used for calibrating the different transducers used in auditory evoked potentials. Once again, once a transducer is calibrated, we don't need to get into this dialog. And similarly, we have corrections for visual transducers. Software license can be changed. This is useful for upgrading or updating the system. You will note the code indicated at the center over here. This should be sent to the technical support along with any additional upgrades or updates you want to get. A new software license is generated, and that is typed into the top area to enable the upgrade or the update. And then here are some more machine setups. We have already seen the software license. I will focus on some of the important ones. One of them is the live play buffer. We can use up to 8 channels, and 360 seconds is the duration of the buffer. Somebody may want to cut it down to 10 or 15 seconds so that they are not storing long epochs of EMG when they don't need to. But this is our maximum capacity on the machine. Producer setup helps you define the different paths for saving the files. So this is where we are saving our bitmaps or the videos. This location can be changed by clicking on the button here. You can create a new folder or choose an existing folder. If you want a prompt when saving a file, you can have a check mark. If you want screenshots, they can be saved as bitmap or JPEG files. By default, we do not include the patient name for HIPAA requirements. But if you wanted, you could include the date and time. This can also be saved to a clipboard so that we can paste it into another application. Then we have settings for video capture. We would like to display the mouse so we can see what is happening on the screen and also highlight the mouse click. These two features together are very useful for creating teaching videos or instructional videos just the way I'm doing them right now. You want to record the audio, and you can save the file as an AVI for editing. If you turn this off, then the file will be saved as an executable file. The default quality is normal, but you can choose low or high. And this is the size of the video frame. If you want to make smaller files, then I would choose 800 by 600, or just keep it for a large file. On rare occasions, somebody may want to capture only a specific portion of the screen, not the entire screen, and that is done by enabling the capture fixed region and then selecting the desired area. Again, most often people do not change these default settings. Once in a while, I have found that we may not have set up a folder for saving these files. So make a check if they are interested in the producer program. Electrode label setup is used mainly for evoked potential. So these are our inputs from the 8-channel head box, and rather than using the names like 7, 8, 9, etc., we can give them anatomically correct labels. Finally, we have settings for exporting the reports as a PDF file to the electronic medical record system. We can define the export folder location by clicking on Setup. Right now, the reports are being exported to the local drive in an Export Reports folder, but in reality, this could be a network drive somewhere on the hospital information system. So we'll need to put details of that drive in this box. And then we can also create a file name. Hospital information systems will often tell you the structure of the name or what the file name should contain. For example, the last name, the first name, the visit date, etc. So those are the various fields: ID, visit date, last name, first name, initial. And we can make a file name by using a combination of some or all of these fields. So in this case, I have created a file name which is last name, first name, initial, ID, visit date, -EMG. You can click on OK to accept this. And finally, let's look at some global setups. I think I have covered everything from the machine setup. And the global setup, we have the patient demographic, visit information. This is covered in a separate video. Anatomy setup. This is something new to the Synergy software. This area will allow us to put in the details of the muscles, their names, their properties as far as innervation are concerned. Just as an example, here is a muscle, abductor digiti minimi, in the hand. This is the name of the muscle. If I wanted to change it, I can click over here and give it a different name. Its location is in the hand. So this is what is used by the Viking user interface, where you see the picture of a human and you can click on the hand and it will automatically show the muscles that can be tested in the hand. Here is some innervation. It is supplied by the lower trunk, the anterior division, and so on and so forth. At the bottom, it tells us the name of the nerve that it's innervating it. Here are roots, etc. Again, this is a very large list with many different settings. Most likely you won't have to go into this area. The only exception that I can think about is if you wanted to make the muscle names a little shorter, that's when you will need to come over here and make it into an acronym or something like that. Just as we can change the names of the muscles, we can also change the names of the nerves over here. Then we go to the user manager. These are the two built-in users that we have discussed, Synergy and Viking. We can add more users. I generally avoid this because it creates complications with passwords, folders, and whatnot. And finally, we come to more global setups. Patient and visit setup. This is a duplication. We have already seen this in another video as part of user settings. Muscles and nerves, we have already seen this as part of another menu. Reference pictures, this will give you the list of anatomic pictures for the reference setup. This is an option on the Synergy system or on the Viking system now. If that option is purchased, you will automatically find all the pictures listed over here. It is very unlikely that you will want to change them, and therefore I will skip it. This particular machine does not have those pictures, and therefore you see blank area. Graph and reference values. This is where you program the clouds for turns and amplitude analysis, or for latency intensity, which is used for hearing testing. But I think there is an important setting over here, which is the notch filter. And for the US, that should be set at 60 Hertz. Again, don't worry about the local setting pads or the storage devices. These are rarely used. This, in effect, covers most of the machine and the system configurations that are necessary for a Synergy system. In my experience, the most important settings are the patient demographics, the report heading, and the specific test configurations. All the other configurations are less important, but they can be made if necessary.